believe it or not, once upon a time, the Detroit Lions were actually a dynasty. Before the AFL-NFL merger, the Lions were the class of the NFL. In a 6-year span from 1952 to 1957, the Lions won 3 NFL titles and made 4 championship game appearances. This was thanks to the stout defensive play from stars like Joe Schmidt, Jack Christensen, elite play from legendary quarterback Bobby Lane, a very good offensive line, and a very good head coach in Buddy Parker. The 1957 season, however, is what stands out. To understand why it stands out so much, we have to look at the season before, and we also have to look at all the adversity that the team faced throughout the year. Going all the way back, 1956 was a heartbreaking season for the Lions. Last week of the year, they have a half-game lead over the Bears, and they just have to beat Chicago to make it to the championship game. Instead, Bobby Lane goes down in the third quarter, and the Lions fall 38-21. They finished second place in the conference, and back then, second place was no good. Only the conference winners would meet in the NFL championship game. There were no playoffs back then, just a championship. Well, that was the case until 1957. Fast forward to the beginning of the 1957 season, and adversity struck the Lions. Head coach Buddy Parker announced his shocking retirement 1 month before the start of the season. Parker stated that he did not like the progress the team was making and supposedly had some beef with the ownership as well as with some of the players. So in a Chinese fire drill fashion, wide receiver coach George Wilson took over as the head coach. Wilson did okay to start the season, but not quite up to the team expectations. The Lions were 3-3, didn't really look like they were going to be anywhere close to making the championship game. However, despite an injury to Bobby Lane late in the season, the Lions managed to win their last 3 games and finished the year 8-4 and ended up getting first place in the Western Conference. Hooray! Off to the title game. Bring on those Browns. Let's go. Oh, wait. We forgot an important detail. They finished tied for first with the 49ers. The 2 teams split the regular season. There was a tie. So there's only one solution to solve this dilemma. Playoff time! The Lions would again face adversity against the stacked 49ers offense. All-pro quarterback Y.A. Tittle lit up the Lions defense with 3 first-half touchdowns, giving the Niners a 24-7 halftime lead. This was an era where scoring was not quite as abundant, where chewing clock was much more relevant. So a 17-point lead was absolutely huge back in these days. So huge that rumors emerged about champagne being ready in the 49ers locker room. I'm not really sure how true these rumors are, but supposedly it's well documented. It's also documented that the Niners potentially were beginning to sell tickets for the game against the Browns. So that was very interesting. But little did they know, Detroit heard their chatter in celebration. And the 1957 Lions were very good at responding to adversity. Buddy Parker didn't believe in this team. The 49ers scoffed at this team, and everyone in the NFL was ready to see another Lions season end in heartbreak. And it looked like their doubt was validated when Niners running back Hugh McElhenny started the half with a 71-yard burst down to the Detroit 10. After the apparent dagger, the Lions managed to hold San Francisco to a field goal. The score was 27-7. The Lions needed a miracle, someone to step up and take this game over. Well, they got that someone. They got a miracle too. And that someone and that miracle both were very unexpected. Tom the Bomb Tracy only had 16 carries for 46 yards in the regular season. But on December 22nd, 1957, a star and a future Pro Bowler was born. Tracy helped the Lions chomp into the lead with a 1-yard touchdown plunge in the third quarter, making it 27-14 Niners. Then, 1 minute later, it was looking like a legitimate comeback attempt by the Lions. Tracy then scampered off 58 yards for a touchdown next possession, making it a 6-point game. The backup running back had completely changed the course of the game, and the 49ers players, who were so jubilant 15 minutes earlier, were getting worried. The Lions capitalized on their momentum on both offense and defense. Gene Gedman barreled his way into the end zone to give the Lions the lead 28-27 late in the fourth quarter. The Niners' seemingly unstoppable offense suddenly looked stoppable as the Lions forced 4 turnovers in the fourth quarter. Tittle, the man who lit it up in the first half, suddenly could not get anything past the Detroit secondary. A crowd of over 60,000 in San Francisco was quiet, stunned. The Lions had just completed one of the most unbelievable comebacks in NFL history. With a 31-27 win, the Lions advanced to the NFL championship game, where they would obliterate the Browns 59-14, despite being underdogs. This would be the last ever championship for the Lions, the last playoff win away from Detroit. At the time, it was the greatest comeback in NFL postseason history. However, one crazy fact is that this 20-point comeback was not the Lions' best comeback of the season. That's right, Detroit had an even bigger comeback in 1957. In Week 4, the Lions had a 24-point deficit against the Baltimore Colts, but they came back to win, ironically, by a score of 31-27. Go figure. Hey, in a season where the Lions tied for the conference lead, every game mattered, and this 24-point comeback is another significant one in this team's history. Since that magical 57 season, the Lions have had a hard time replicating that success. Since that win over the Browns, the Lions have only won one playoff game in that span, by far the worst in the NFL. The Lions were the first team to go 0-16. The Lions are one of the oldest teams to never make a Super Bowl. The list goes on. Unfortunately, because of how long ago this was, many people overlook the time the Lions were elite, where they're focused mainly on the present failures of the organization. For that reason, the 1957 Lions, I think, are one of the most underappreciated teams in NFL history. A team that overcame two 20-plus point deficits, a last-second coaching change, an injury to their starting quarterback, managed to beat the odds and win that NFL championship, and overcome the heartbreak of the 1956 season. This is one of the great underdog stories in NFL history, and it's a shame only a few people are old enough to remember it.